What's up, everybody? It's Mark here. So I have a new video. In this video, it's going to be my dividend journey through the stock market this past month of August. This channel has been for a mobile game that I've been playing for a long time called The Walking Dead No Man's Land. So a lot of you guys and girls have been watching videos of me posting, and this is something completely different. You know, stepping out of my comfort zone. But with this video that I want to share with everybody, I want to share my dividend investing, for this past month. It was an exciting month. So basically, this video here is going to talk about how I was able to make almost $37,000 in dividends for the month of August. But the key is it all profits? There's a lot of risk, a lot of reward. This is not financial advice. This is me spending my money in the market on, trying to earn money within dividend investing. Dividend investing can help with financial freedom if it's done right. If it's done wrong, you can lose money, just like anything else in the market. So I'm going to share with you my little journey, how I got there, what I was doing. I'm going to show you my spreadsheet to break it all down. So basically, let's get into it. Okay, with my spreadsheet all pulled up right here, I'm going to go through it all, but I basically want to, let you know that what started this all was me chasing, high-end dividends, special dividends, trying to get, paid and make money and see if I can do it faster than just, buys and holds. So with this particular, instance, I started out with a stock with PSA when they announced they were doing a special dividend of over $13 a share. What I ended up doing to get to this point was actually sold off a bunch of my shares that I had in other, holdings to get to the dollar amount that I was looking to invest right away. In this case, I actually started out with just under $39,000, and I put it all into PSA. When I did, I bought it at an average cost of $320, and you'll see on this entire left-hand side, I have it all broken down on the way I'm able to keep track of different things, whether it's X date, pay date, sold date, how much I invested, how many shares I bought, what the cost was, expected dividend, shares sold, shares kept, the value of the shares kept, which, like in this case, PSA, I ended up keeping 10 shares. The money I received from the sale, average cost, even, I have a break-even sell price to see what, what I need to sell it at to make sure that I break even and still, walk away with it clean with the dividends intact. At the very bottom, you'll see profit and loss from the sale of the stock, profit and loss with the dividends, total dividends, which is that $36,870 for the month of August. So what I was doing is buying and selling right around the X dates. It's tricky because with stocks, when the X date comes around, stocks usually go down. When stocks announce their dividends, usually there's a run up because people are trying to buy them because they want to get in at a lower price before the stock, the X dividend comes out or the payday comes out, when the stocks will drop the price of the dividends that are, being paid out. So I end up actually having a little bit of extra cash, and I threw it VOC at the same time for $2,100. But we'll go back to PSA real quick. I end up getting a dividend of just shy of $1,600. I sold it at $327. It was up at $347 basically the day or two before the X date, and then it started to drop a little bit, but then obviously it dropped the $13 in change, and still ended up selling for $327, which gave me a profit. And what I did is I kept 10 shares. In the end, it's a good company to hold. It adds to my portfolio long term. We're a month out since. The price on that stock is still up around $330 at this point in time. I think it was last time I checked it. So I'm still up on that as well, which is great. But so I was able to sell it for a lot higher than what the break-even point was. End up profiting, basically $742 from it, keeping shares and stuff like that. VOC was the next one, that I bought basically around the same time. You know, it was only going to pay me a small dividend of $100. I say small; it's small to what I was doing. $100 is a great dividend, especially if you can get that per month from any of your payouts. You know, because looking for that financial freedom, you want to get as paid as much as possible, right? So basically, end up selling this one for a little bit of a loss. You know, took a hit on that. End up, you know, negative $78 after receiving the dividend. SPH, you know, basically did it the very next day. Same thing, was expecting, you know, to hold a little bit better than it did. It dropped a little, you know, more than I wanted to, so I ended up losing basically a lot. It was, you know, negative $1,900, but with the dividend, it was negative $1,200. So I'm kind of in the hole right now, right? Still a little up from buying the PSA. You know, the next one we had was DSX. Again, you know, expected only $134. I only invested $2,900 into that. Ended up selling it for a loss at $106, but I still made $27 once the dividend paid out. UAN was next, $34,000 investment. Stock was selling right around $116. It ran up to $125, I think it was, before the X date, but then it plummeted, which was sad. I was all excited about it, but it dropped a lot more than the $10 that it was paying for a special dividend. It ended up bouncing back a little bit, but not enough that, you know, I was able to break even on the sell of it. So as you can see, I lost $450 from selling it, but I still profited almost $2,500 with the dividend. HTGC, you know, was the next one. I did a small little investment on that one. I actually had this one in my portfolio, you know, ahead of time. A couple of these other stocks I had as well. But, you know, this one was, you know, paying out a special dividend, a total of 50 cents in total, but it was like a 13-cent special on top of their regularly quarter dividend of like 37 cents, I think it was. You know, so it was only going to pay me out $100, $102 for it, stuff of, you know, like that. But, you know, it dropped a little bit. I ended up selling it for $15.37, even though I was in on at $15.58. But with this particular stock, when I sold it, I actually bought in shares of Tesla at, you know, with the proceeds from this. So I lost $42 from the sale, but technically I've made $2,600 by, you know, buying into Tesla's stock at the time. This was before the split, you know, so I was in at, you know, somewhere around $8.50 a share or something of that nature. You know, obviously it's split since, which, you know, is lovely. So, you know, it's sitting in my portfolio. It's going to grow. It's making me a little bit of money. Vail was the next one that I did a large purchase on. It was basically, you know, just shy of $36,000. Expected dividend was $1,700. It hasn't paid out yet. It's going to be paying me in September, which is lovely. But, you know, with this particular stock, it dropped. I was in at $14.18. It dropped down. I ended up selling it at $13.66, which was still above my break-even point. So as you can see, I did lose $1,300 selling it, but I'm still up $415, you know, once the dividend does get paid out. IAP was the next one. I actually had this one in my portfolio. I was a little sad with this one because this one was pretty consistent with staying at around the $53 to $55 mark for a long time. And when I end up buying this one, I end up being in at $54 a share, spent $35,000 on it. Again, I get paid $1,300 as a dividend. They pay a quarterly dividend of $2. So this wasn't a special dividend. This is just a normal regular dividend. I ended up with 655 shares, and it's going to pay out at the end of September. But the price plummeted down $4 on the X date instead of the $2. Which hurt me because my break-even point was at $52, and if it would have dropped to $2, I would have broke even. Instead, I lost out. And this one I lost big because I lost $2,000 on selling the stock, but overall I'm down $800 from, you know, when I do receive the dividend as well. So this was a hit. CNQ, another small buy in $6,000. So this one was average cost almost $56 a share. I was going to get paid $167. It is a Canadian company, so I ended up getting taxed on it when I did get the dividends. The tax was already pulled out. It was basically like $19. So out of the $167, basically, I end up seeing $140 something of it after the taxes were pulled ahead of time. Thanks for Fidelity for doing that. I had 111 shares. Sold it at a profit. I was in at $55.79, sold it for $56.25. So I made $51 on the sale of it, and then with the dividend, total was $219 as a profit. RBCN was the next one. This one was a huge risk. So basically, this company was being bought out. The stock itself is going to be delisted. So it was a huge risk. They were paying $11 a share as a special dividend, for the sale, the merger that was happening. And at the time, the stock itself was, when they announced it, was somewhere around like $9, $10, I think it was, and it skyrocketed, up around like $16, $17. But I was able to get in at $14.45, $36,000 investment. It's going to pay out $27,000 plus on the dividend. The hope on this one was that the price would still keep going up, and that when it dropped the $11, I'd still be, in good shape. Well, the price started dropping quickly. The day before, the close before the X date, the stock was sitting somewhere north of $14.45, which was I was in. It was somewhere around like almost $15. But on X date, when I woke up, the stock was in the $3 range. It was like $3.60, and I was like mortified, because now I'm losing, a ton of money, including getting the dividend. But I was able to sell it at $4 a share, took a huge hit at $26,000 loss. But with the $27,000 payout, I'm still going to end up making $1,300 and $1,376. With it all included. Does it suck? Yes. I was able to sell it before it gets delisted. I checked the stock the other day, and it was somewhere in the low threes. So it's, plummeting because it is being delisted. They actually did an IPO under a different ticker like a week prior because of, with the buyout. So they're still there, it's just under a different name. SBLK, shipping company. This one was also, basically pretty steady for a little while. I had this in my portfolio. They were paying $1.65, which is not a special dividend. It's their actual quarterly dividend that they paid out last time as well. And leading up to this one, the price of the stock started to go down, and there were signs there, and I kind of ignored it because I had it in my portfolio ahead of time. But, unfortunately, instead of the stock dropping at $1.65 when the X date came around, it dropped $4, which is huge. And, as you can see here, I lost $1,000 on the stock itself. And with the dividend paying out, which is only $409 I was getting, because it was a $6,000 investment, so it wasn't the huge $35,000 investment. So I'm only gonna, I'm loss of $625. Then the last one, Zim, another shipping company that, put in $3,300. This one as well was sitting around the $50 mark for the longest time, but it ended up dropping more than the $475 it was, paying out. And when it did, I ended up having to sell it for $42. As of right now today, I think it's down to $34, only a few days later. So it was a huge loss. And, as you can see, I lost $507. And even with the dividend paying out, I still lost $200. Not a huge hit, but still, it sucked. So we'll go over here. And as you can see, my overall profits end up being $6,622 for the entire month. That includes keeping the Tesla stock and the PSA stocks. So overall, I made some money. It wasn't as much as I was hoping. And it's very risky to do it this way because of the fact that all the stocks drop when they pay out their dividends. Trying to time the market, which we all know we can't and shouldn't try doing. But if you can get in at a low enough price and then watch the stock run up from others buying it because they're chasing that dividend as well, then when it does drop, you can potentially end up making some money. So we'll scroll down. As you can see, overall, down $32,000 in regards to the sale of each one of them. But because I get, $3,600 in dividends, plus I kept the other stocks, it ended up being a net profit of $6,622.24. Actually, this is incorrect. I purchased a total of 12 stocks. And when I sold them, I ended up getting profitable from only 2. Not a really good percentage. What was that, about 15, 16%? But when you add in the dividend, I ended up being profitable on 7 out of the 12, which is nearly 60%. Not too bad. I have plans moving forward with the next month on possibly just, chasing the dividends, but holding until after the X date to see if I can minimize any type of losses. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a comment below. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. And, if you want to see my journey for the next month and stuff like that, put a comment in so I can, possibly make another one. So hopefully everybody has a great, lovely weekend here in, the United States. It's Labor Day weekend, so long weekend for all of us. And hope you have great weather. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.